don't tell me what I can't do. So when I'm speaking to the youth, I'm speaking to the young me. I'm saying what you got to do is understand when someone's talking down to you, you realize they're literally looking down on you. It's because you're holding a mirror in front of you and they're looking at the younger them. What I need you to do is step from behind that mirror and go ahead and be a trailblazer. Make your own journey, make your own path.
Hey yo, G Dash, boy, take your hat off. Fine. This week on Hats Off with G Dash Jones. Y'all know what you're watching. What? Hold on. If you don't know, you know what this is. Feel good, don't it? It does. It does. Hold up. I was like, skirt. Man, listen. That right there. If y'all don't know, you are watching Hats Off with your boy G Dash Jones. That's right. When we talk change with the change makers and talk flavor with the taste makers. You see what I'm saying? And we gonna get the keys from the gatekeepers. That's a fact. Oh, hats off with your boy G Dash Jones. Today, I say it again. Today, my guest is going to be none other than the CEO and co-owners, co-founders, if you will, of everything from NERDiT Now, right? They fixing things. Okay, fine. Then there's NERDiT. There's the whole NERDiT Deals situation. That's right, the warehouse full of things. Okay. Then there's NERDiT Cares because they care. See, we gonna talk about it all. We gonna talk about all of the things from Markevis and Kris Gideon. Yes. That's who we will be talking with today. Bam! Brant. Y'all see him. You see him. He in the building. Live and direct. How are you feeling today, good sir?
My guy, I'm feeling blessed. How about yourself?
Man, listen, another day in paradise, sir. Another day in paradise. Y'all know what we doing.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Finally got you here. I'm gonna talk to you. We're gonna talk about all the things. What you want to tell them about the sipping shop? Anything they need to know about the sipping shop?
Yo, when you come to sip and shop, it's nothing but good vibes. We come around, we sipping a little mimosa, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be finding some good deals. I mean, everything that you possibly need. I got people coming in buying furniture. I got people buying small appliances. I got people buying clothes. Got North Face jumpsuits. We got Skims bras. We got electronics. We got a little bit of everything for everybody, making sure that we cut them prices in half, making sure you got that deal of their lifetime.
There it is. There it is. Go and get yourself something. Go and get yourself something. That's what that is for. Oh man. Now, without further ado, okay, I'm telling people again because in case they might not have heard me. I gotta tell them again. You are watching Hats Off with your boy G Dash Jones again. Talking change with the change makers, getting flavor from the taste makers, and of course the keys from the gatekeepers. Today, I have, of course, the amazing co-CEOs, co-founders of NERDiT Now, NERDiT Cares, and NERDiT Deals. It's a whole, at this point, it's coming a whole emporium with the NERDiT situation. That's, of course, goes by the name of Markevis and Kris Gideon, live on the line. Bam. Y'all see him. Now, good sir. Glad to have you here. Go ahead, tell the people a little bit about yourselves.
Yo, well, first I'm gonna apologize on Chris' behalf. Right now, we got two boys under the age of 5, and this is bedtime right now, so she can't accompany us right now. But when you think about NerdIt Now, you see our face everywhere. Me and Chris been together for now 10 years, married for 7, and it's been nothing but a blessing as we've been watching this business grow. Starting out of a two-bedroom apartment 9 years ago, really scaling into a 50,000 square foot warehouse, where our whole intention is make sure that we're making a positive impact on our community by bridging the divide within technology. Now that was a lot right there, and we do a whole lot, as you said, throughout all the different names that we have. We do a lot within NerdIt. You know, we started off by repairing people devices. Now I'm the first certified tech recycler in the state of Delaware, making sure that we recycle for all large organizations. And then through NERDiT Cares, we donate technology back into underserved communities and train individuals how to gain employable skills within tech. So, man, busy. We are busy. But when you really think about it, I need to make sure that everybody understand. Before all of that, I'm a man of faith, I'm a husband, and then I'm a father. Everything else comes next. You know, if you heard me speak, that's what I be about.
That is fire. That is love. It's warm. It's warm all in here. Okay, now, all right. So let's dial it back, right? So you, the first of this moment, right? You went and created NERDiT Now. That was the first iteration of this whole thing. So how did that come about?
Well, people see NerdIt Now today and they be like, yo, you was on Shark Tank. Yo, you had presidential shout outs. But I like to remind them, like, NerdIt Now really started a long time ago in my heart. When I was a young boy, a teacher gave me a computer. When your parents don't graduate from college, they don't go to college. It's like they didn't have the means to give me technology. A teacher gave me that computer and changed the trajectory of my life. I ended up taking it apart, putting it together, which would lead me to Howard High School of Technology. There I was a Microsoft certified systems engineer by the age of 17. Did that. It was like, all right, cool. Got a job at MBNA. I was like, yo, I'm a young boy doing some things. They told me, Marquis, you should do a little bit more. So I went on, went to school, studied at computer science and accounting at Washington University, somehow fumbled on an opportunity to study abroad for 1 month in China, which will later turn into living in China for 5 years. And when I came back, all I could think was like, yo, I done traveled the world. Started businesses in other countries. I've learned a new language. Like, I've done a lot, and I'm only 20 something years old. How did this start? And I was like, wait, that one computer. So I wanted to start a business that donate technology to help bridge that gap and hopefully create new opportunities for others as it was done for me. And that's how NerdIt Now really began.
Wow. Okay. I just want to question, right? So, where just to frame it, where you grow up, right? You get your A+ certification to super technical world. The environment that you were in, because you said your parents didn't go to college. How did you overcome that to even get into all the things? What was that? How did you wind up doing
Yo, you got to stand on the shoulders of giants. When you looking at our community, there's so many organizations that's committed to helping you. You know, when I think of my teachers, they start pointing me in the right direction. Living in a hood in the earlier parts of my life, I didn't want to go back to Howard because it was in the hood. I was living in Claymont at that time. But my teacher said, this will be a good opportunity for you and convinced my dad to send me there. I went there and it was the best decision I ever did. But then it was through there, I started learning about other programs. My best friend was like, yo, you should think about Black Achievers over at the YMCA. I'm like, all right, I believe in achieving things. So I joined that and I was like, yo, they start exposing me to a lot, different college tours, different youth and government activities. I'm like, yo, this is cool. My school was like, yo, you're doing good. You should think about Business Professionals of America. You should think about Upward Bound Math Science over at University of Delaware. I was like, all right, cool. Let me try these summer programs. I'm doing that. I'm like, yo, I'm living on a college campus. This is cool too. And then the Achievers program with the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, only the best fraternity in the world, they start showing me some things, and through there it was like I'm getting scholarships to go to college when I didn't intend on going. But then what really put the cherry on top is when I got the job at MBNA, I'm working next to some 50, 60 plus white men, and I'm a young 17-year-old black boy, and I'm looking at them like, yo, y'all making like 60, 65,000 a year. I want to be there. And they said, Markevis, if you go to college in 5 years, you can make it more than this and possibly be our manager. Do it. Yo, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, man. That made dollars. So it made sense for me to go to college and explore more opportunities, which just opened up a whole new realm of things for me.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what broke my brain about everything that you said. Right here, like a lot of that makes sense. I'm not gonna lie, it fits the journey. But the one thing that has me like, huh? You didn't even plan on going to college? Like
Oh,
Mr. NERDiT had
oh.
no college aspirations.
Now you got to think about it. Like, I was 12 years old when I was making about $50 a day in Howard or middle school, going to Howard, selling candy. I'm like, if I'm making $50 a day in school, why do I need to do this? And then I started my computer company. Back then it was called Connect You Computers. By the time I was 17 years old, I had contractors working for me. We were managing doctors' offices. We had little schools that we were working with. And I was doing consultant work, hiring older people because they didn't want to see a young black boy doing it. And I'm like, yo, I'm hiring these people to do these big contracts for me. I'm making more than my parents. Why should I go to college? But when they kept telling me, like, yo, it's gonna only make this do more for you, I'm like, well, if y'all say so, I mean, I guess who gonna pay for it? I start getting scholarships. I'm like, okay, it makes sense.
Yes, yes, I'm a fan of that because that's a very interesting hustler story, if you will. Okay, boy, you can't take the river out the man. I swear, like that is such a hustler story in its own right. It's just not the typical version of it, and then you kind of get into this world. Okay, how'd you come up with the name NERDiT?
Yo, it's funny. I moved back from China. I started dating this girl, and it's funny because this girl, I met her when she was 16 years old. I was just turning 18. We started dating, and I'm like, yo, you're real cool. But her parents found out I was sneaking in her home. So they asked me, yo, don't come around my daughter again. So we went almost 7 years without talking. Now, I'm living in China, and I get a Facebook message saying, hi, how are you? And I looked at it, and it said, Kris Baptiste. And I'm like, Chris, who's Chris? And I opened it, and I realized it was Kristen. We fast forward a bit. Yo, we went 7 years without talking. After the day before I opened that message, I told my best friend, like, if I could date any girl again, it would be her. For me to get that message was like, yo, everything I'm doing in China, it's got to stop. I'm moving back to America. So I moved back to America with no plans. Like, I had a bar in China. I had a 4 bedroom, 2 balcony, 3 bathroom apartment. Like, I was living life. I came back here and had to start over. And I'm thinking, like, yo, what am I going to do? I spent probably the first 18 months doing nothing, living in my mom's back patio. Uh, just like the only thing I had that was nice was a I had a 2008 Chrysler 300. So I was like, I got a nice little car, but other than that, I had nothing. I was depleting all my funds. And then when I started coming up with the idea, like, yo, nerd, like a business, I was like, all right, what am I going to call it? So her little sister, I went to her and was like, all right, I'll give you and your friend $20 and a box of pizza if y'all could come up with a name. And they were like, okay. She was like 15, 16 at the time. They came up with a whole bunch of names, but the one that really rang to me was called Nerd Herd. And I was like, Nerd Herd, the herd of the nerds. We're going to herd the nerds because we are the nerd herd. All right, that worked. Looked on Instagram, looked on Facebook, and it was taken. I was like, all right, what are we going to do about it? I was like, wait, Nerd It, Nerd It. So I looked on Google. I was like, is that website taken? That Instagram, it was taken. I'm like, all right, cool. Nerd is not going to do it. And I'm looking at him like, so what we going to do now? And right then and there, I looked at him like, yo, we can nerd this, we can nerd that, we can nerd it now. And they looked at me like I was a old man. I was like, yo, there's like, you're a cornball. I was like, but it worked. Nerd it now. We nerd this, we nerd that, we nerd it now. And when I thought about that, I gave him $20, gave him the box of pizza, bought the website, took to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and was like, yo, this is it.
That makes sense now. So when you got there, when you had that whole thing, you already knew you're going to be fixing equipment from the rip.
No, I had
Okay.
no idea. Not at all. I knew that I could fix things, but I thought what I was going to do was website design. I was
Okay.
like, yo, it's easier money. I don't got to hire anybody. I didn't want a store. I didn't want to have a employee. I didn't want nothing. I just wanted to, you remember, I just came back from China where I was like living life, traveling all over the world. And I'm back here like, I want to still live that life. Like, if I want to be on the beach in Thailand, I want to be making a website doing that. It didn't work that way. I was trying to get clients. I'm like, yo, it's taking too long. And then the few that I did do is like, I'm actually not happy doing this. So fun fact, I had a partner when I started NerdIt Now. and I would let him do all of the website design and I'll do all the sales. But then we realized like, yo, this isn't a fair partnership. So he went on, said, hey, you take all of the business when it comes to the websites. But since I came up with the name of this business, I'm gonna keep that and I'm gonna just do what I know how to do best. I'm gonna buy computers, I'm gonna fix them, resell them, and start offering the service to customers. And I was in a two-bedroom apartment thinking like, all right, if I could do like 2,000 a month in the first 18 months, it sustained me, but I got to get up to like 10,000 a month within the next 2 years. And slow but steady moved from a small apartment where everybody was uncomfortable to a storehouse where it was still a little borderline uncomfortable to an actual retail store. And that's when the business was like, yo, we actually doing something now.
Right, right. Wow. All right. So now, shouts out, by the way, in case y'all don't know, you're watching Hats Off with your boy G Jones. Oh, and today we are talking to the co-owners, operators, and founders of NERDiT Now, NERDiT Cares, and the NERDiT Deals. There's a whole world right now, right? We only started this NERDiT situation. Okay. So, so now you start off, you got this NERDiT, you're fixing stuff, boom, but then what came first? Well, let me ask you this. How did you get into the community aspect of that? What made you say, all right, let's do something that's going to actually benefit people?
So you got to remember, I started the business donating technology. I didn't realize what I was doing intentionally. Like, I was like, I'm buying computers. I'm going to donate 100 each year through my business. What built the division is around 2018 as my business started to scale. People would come into my store and say, can I get that computer for free? I'm like, no, this is like my store. And you're driving in a Mercedes. Like, the math ain't mathing right now. So what I'm going to do is start a nonprofit. So I started NERDiT Now in 2015. In 2018, we started NERDiT Foundation, which is now NERDiT Cares. That's when it was like, all right, we got a nonprofit, we got a for-profit. But the whole time, that's what I've been doing.
Mm. So this just gave you a way to kind of legitimize what you were doing with the donating of the computers and things like that.
Correct.
Okay. Now, then back up. Why'd you first start doing it? Was it just because the tax hurt?
No, so when you look at like everything we're doing, even now to this day, like I got a CFO on there, like, why didn't you write these taxes off? I'm like, well, that's not why I started the business. With my business, when I was donating computers, I bought them, I gave them away. Why do I need to report this? Like, that's not the intent here. I need to make enough money where I could donate some and still sustain my lifestyle. If I'm doing that, I'm happy. I'm completely happy with that.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
So okay, all right. Now I gotta ask this question because so now you grew up in the hood to the point in which you hit a moment where you even was like, yo, I don't even really want to go back. Like you was at the school, you was like, I don't want to go back there. Like I don't really want to do it. But now you got a whole location in the middle of East Side. Like help make it make sense. Like how did you?
Yo, it was trauma, trauma, trauma. I speak about this a lot too.
Yes.
Think about living in Riverside, trauma. And then between my mom and dad, they separated. I was all throughout North Side, West Side. My grandparents, I spent summers over there in Newcastle, over in Overview Garden. Like it was just like trauma, trauma. Like everywhere I went, it was like nonsense. I think like in 1 year I probably lived on 29th, 26th, and 19th Market Street. And I'm like, why we're bouncing so much? And everywhere I bounced, it was just like a whole bunch of violence, a whole bunch of drugs and things that I didn't like. So it was like, though I was in the environment, there was something in me that always didn't want that. A lot of people sometimes just want it, like, I love the hood. I want to be in the hood. When I would get in trouble as a kid, my punishment was to go outside. I hated going outside. And it was the weirdest thing because they'd be like, yo, but you're from here. I'm like, yo, I hate this. I want to feel like I'm doing something more. I want to see people who want more. But then it really started to come like full circle. Even when I came back from China, I still didn't want to come back in the hood. But Logan over at Reach Riverside came one day. We were both getting recognized for something. I don't even know. DBT 40 under 40 or something. And people kept saying, y'all need to get to know each other. And he kept hearing, yo, he lived in Riverside before. So one day I'm like, yo, I keep hearing I need to get to know you, and apparently you're supposed to be some type of big deal or something. Like, who are you? And you looking at me like, who are you? I'm like, yo, man, see, our egos is getting in the way right now. What's up? And we start to talk, and then I realized, oh, you're trying to transform Riverside. It's not going to work. It just can't work. And he told me, yo, I'm going to do it. What I want you to do is come to a potential board meeting and see what we're talking about. And that was right as they were building a teen warehouse. I'm like, all right, I'll come over here. I start watching what they're doing. I'm like, you're really trying to change. And then he talked to me. It was like, Markevis, you lived here in the hood, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, what I want you to do is let people know it don't matter where you came from. You can still make a big impact. You, you could leave the hood, but you got to come back and lift people out. Show them a new perspective. And when they see that, it would be life altering from them. And that's what made me want to come back to Rivers.
Mm.
I see Shy in the video right now. Shy, what's going on, sis?
Mm. So that kind of, so then you realize that you could actually benefit it, and that's what kind of shifted that whole view.
Yeah, and it wasn't a benefit thing. Not at all. It was more of a how can I help someone else benefit?
Well,
How can I
yeah,
create
not
more
you benefiting, but
opportunity?
you could benefit the hood. Like
Right?
you were a benefit for them.
How can I show? Like, I remember in 2017, I took 6 people to China who's never left America. And they're like, yo, China? I'm like, yes, all black people. Like, I went there. Let me show you. I want to show you a new perspective. When people see me travel, they think I'm just traveling to show off. I'm like, no, you got to realize when you go see other cultures, you're learning so much. When people think of the ambulance that I have for NerdIt Now, the thing is, I saw mobile businesses in China. I saw some in Thailand. I'm like, yo, this is cool. Why don't we have any in America? I put my own twist on it, making it an ambulance where they have like little trucks and did the same thing. And it's all because I saw something that wasn't never here. Yo, you got to travel. So I make sure that as I keep on growing my business, I want to create these opportunities for the people in the hood. Like, yo, I need you to get out that mindset. Don't think about where you at. Look at where you're trying to go. And then get there, come back, and bring others with you.
Okay, okay, right. So now, so the location was so the East Side location was intentional.
Yes, very, very much so. Right before I moved into Riverside, it was I was looking for a new building, and I'm like, all right, where can I go? And a lot of people were telling me go down to Middletown, go to Kent County, it's cheaper, and it was true, much cheaper for me to go down to the lower part of Delaware. However, there's no connection for me. Like the reason I'm doing this business is the connection to the community, and if I want to grow that community connection, I need to make sure I come back to where it all started for me. Let people know, yo, I live right over here on 27th Street. Look where I'm at right now on Bowers. If I could do it, you can do it. And I'm going to show you how to do it faster. Get on my shoulders. Let's go.
Uh, do you feel the change? Like, do you feel the inspiration that you created?
Yo, to be candid, not every day. And that's funny. Like, people are like, you're supposed to see it right away. I'm like, I've only been there for 2 years now. Yo, change don't happen overnight. I still see a whole bunch of things I want to change yesterday, but you got to stay consistent in it. You got to continue to talk to the people, let them know, like, yo, we can make change together. So if it takes 5, 10, 15, 20 years, so be it. Think about it. It's been 400 years and we're still dealing with discrimination in this country. Come on now. Change. It's going to take time.
So does it get frustrating?
I wouldn't be human if I said it didn't. Like, yes, it get frustrated. Yo, we all get frustrated with everything, but man, this is right here. Like, so when I say I'm a man of faith, I really lean on God, and God would tell you, like, I gave you your daily bread. Where we mess up as humans is we want our weekly, our monthly, our annual bread today. No, it doesn't work like that. And to all those who may think of like other religions or philosophies, think of Judaism, you think of Muslim, you think of Jehovah's Witness, you think of the law of attraction, whatever you believe in, everything says if you want it, throw it out into the atmosphere and it'll come back to you. And I do believe it's true, but what they don't really share is that coming back to you isn't always easy. It's not gonna come when you want it to. Like, and if it come back to you, it might not be what you really wanted. Like, yo, you better be careful what you ask for. Like, this stuff is gonna be hard, but you can get it. You just gotta work for it.
There it is. Okay. Right. Again, you watch your hats off with your boy G Dash Jones. That's what I gotta say that was because he said that. Go ahead. Listen, just because you throw it out and you ask for it, don't mean you're gonna want what you got. Think about it. And I say that because that actually directly speaks to your story. You over in China, you come back here, you ready to build the same websites and move the same way. You like, I don't even want to do this no more. It's like, I don't want to do this. Like it's that, but you still were already a tech guy, so you were already in that world, right? So now you're doing all these things, and then somehow, some way, you decide to go into a space of saying, how about it be a warehouse while we're fixing stuff? We could sell stuff. Well, that wasn't quite your idea, but how did that come about?
Yo, if you would have came to me 2 years ago and said we'll be doing this, I say 2 years ago. 6 months ago, I said never. This would never, ever happen. But yo, if you want to make sure that your family is whole and happy, my wife has done so much to support everything that I do. Like, if I want to do something, she's like, then do it. Let me help. Let me do whatever I got to do here to make sure this is good so that you can get to where you want to go. And that's been a blessing. And as I was thinking about it this year, I'm like, yo, wife, but like, what is it that you want? Like, when we think of all the recycling and electronics, that's making me happy. You're not happy with this. Like, what is it that you want? And she started thinking about, all right, I want to do like other stuff. Like, how do I get to like Target? And I love this type stuff, shopping there. Like, so I went on and bought 6 pallets of it and said, all right, what you think about this? And her eyes was like, I like this. I was like, you sure? She was like, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. Let's get 6 truckloads.
Hold
And that's where it went from there.
time out. Gotta call time. Okay, because you said, in the way you said, you did say it casually. I went out and bought 6 pallets. You bought six, so you went and bought 6 pallets of overstock,
Yes.
which shouts out to you. By the way, this is something I want the people to know in the back. When you start to do a thing, you'll learn how a thing works. The reason why he knows where overstock is because of already dealing with recycling the overstock of the computers. So because he was already in that space, he already had knowledge. You see, once you start working for a thing, the other things will become clear, and then it'll start to deliver itself. So, okay, right, you go there. When you bought this, did you know kind of how that was going to pan? Like, did you have any idea what was going to happen with this stuff, or even where you was going
Not
to
at
put
all.
it? That's a lot of
Not at
stuff.
all. Yo, when we started, yo, I tell Chris, I was like, yo, you're taking over the warehouse. This is ridiculous. We started in like a small gated area. Yo, within a month, she expanded outside the gate. A month after that, she took like she literally have half the warehouse right now. But yo, customers are liking it. They're enjoying it, and more than anything, yo, my wife is so happy with it. Too happy. I'm like, stop bringing stuff home. The kids don't need another thing, but like, she's happy doing what she's doing. So like, when she waking up in the morning, like, yo, I want to go to work. This is a complete 180. Like, that used to be me. I'm now like, yo, I want to sleep a little longer. She's like, no, let's get this done. So now I work for my wife. I make sure that she's happy doing everything that she doing, and that right there has been a blessing because now you see how our relationship is getting so much tighter. You see how we're now seeing things more eye to eye, and it's not like we're sitting there talking about work all day. No, we're talking about life and how we're going to create generational wealth not only for our family but for our community.
Mm, Okay, one more time for those in the back. There's some things he said, but he ain't say it, but he said it. But I want y'all to know. He said there was a mutual sacrifice given so both of them could win, right? Mutual sacrifice. Y'all do what y'all want with that information. But that's what he did. And now they about to have a target. Okay, in the spot. You see what I'm saying? Listen. So, all right. So now, and even in that, so once you expanded to the warehouse in the NERDiT Deals and having all of the things, was there ever a thought of saying, I don't know if we want to keep all this in the hood, like we want to go
I've been
somewhere else?
told so many times Markevis don't do it, and that was a big part of the reason why I didn't open it up to the customers. I was like, yo, it's not safe. But yo, when you're there for the community's there for you. And we've never had an issue. Like I tell people, like, yo, we have like random things happen. I had windows broken in front of our business, and I'm like, yo, it's okay. People are like, yo, if you find the kids, are you gonna press charges? I'm like, no. When I find the kids, I'm gonna have a conversation. I got a yard that needs to be cleaned. Let me pay you to do that. Let me talk to you about how this is going to lead down a whole trajectory of nonsense. Trust me, I have family who's there. Let me show you another way. I've actually found one of the kids who threw rocks at my window. I'm like, yo, bruh, look at what I'm doing for the community. You are of age. I can press charges. But what would that do for you? What would that do for your mother and your grandparents? That would do nothing but create nothing but negativity for them, for your younger siblings. I'm going to do you a solid. But this ain't gonna be like a hug, just walk away and you good. No, we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna build a relationship. We're gonna make sure, yo, you can't be doing this to my business, to any other businesses. Let me show you how to be a productive person in this community and share it with your friends. They're gonna try to clown you, man. I was like clowned when I was a kid. Yo, yeah, computer geek, nerd, whatever they wanted to call me. But now they come in looking at me like, yo, Markevis, this is amazing. Like, yo, I know. You gotta stay focused on doing what you want to do. Don't worry about what everybody else trying to do.
Absolutely. And this is going to sound random, but this is to my earlier point. Did you have to forgive the hood?
It took a while. It took a while, and I think that had to happen before I even moved back into the hood. To be honest, like, and
Mm.
to be frank, I still like my uncle just passed away a week and a half ago. A few 2 months ago, my cousin passed away from fentanyl, and when I see like a lot of my family members who are still struggling, it hurts. It truly hurts. And I'll sit there, and this is where my wife balances me. She's like, it's interesting. I hate these things, but I love these things. I love my family, but I hate the things that they're doing. And what I can't do is let this hate turn me away from them. No, what we got to do is find ways to get close and share with them, like, yo, we could change this. I want to help you. There's things that we got to do better together. And, if they don't want to do a change, it's okay. Maybe there's a little bit more distance between us, but that don't change my love for you. Like, as a kid, we're oblivious to it all. But then as you get older, you start realizing like how you do or don't like certain things. That took me a while. And I realized like, I got to just forgive it. Like, I can't control what you do, what they do, what anybody do, nor can you control what I do. But I can still control how I love you. And that's where I'm at right.
I ain't gonna say it again, but he said that I can still control. Woo, woo, woo. Y'all need to rewind that back. That was one of them ones. All right, now okay, but see, I got another. It just hit my head. In that same world, how do you learn? How'd you learn your line of not over sacrifice?
Still learning. If anybody tell you they got it all, they're lying. I've taken a lot of financial hits this past year and a half, a ton. And a big reason where I've had big funders in the state come to me and say, Markevis, I've been mentoring you for a while and I need you to understand, you got to make a decision. Is it community or is it wealth? And if you hear this whole conversation, you can even probably almost hear what I'm saying. I still talk about community. But what they told me is like, Markevis, you got to change that. Because if you were to say, I'm going to only choose community and there's no more wealth, there's no more community. How can you continue to give with nothing? So, what I need to really divert my attention to is making money, period. I got to be relentless with that. Like, you want a donation? Don't ask me anymore. Go to the nonprofit, which I'm not affiliated with. My nonprofit I created is meant to do that. I'm meant to build a profit so that I can give to my nonprofit and make sure they're sustained. If we're both struggling, it's doing no good for anybody. So there's a lot I'm still learning. I believe that I'm gonna always be community focused, but at the end of the day, I need to make sure with that focus, I have a way to sustain it.
Absolutely. You got to get enough to give back. If you don't have nothing, you can't give back nothing. Y'all just both giving back asks for more. Hey, can somebody give me some more? Because I ain't got to. You got some.
Yeah.
No, you need some more too. All right, we go. Everybody's gathering all the asks, and ain't nobody got nothing. So I definitely get that. Okay, a couple more questions, but I do want to know. So, because this part we didn't mention, right? There's a level of what your business is, even community-wise, the NERDiT space that says, "Hey, I wanted to fix stuff. I want to teach other people how to fix stuff," and then kind of grow other technical abilities within that realm. How did what made you decide to want to you didn't even always like these people. Now you want to help them to learn how to fix it.
Oh,
How did you wind up adding that to your business model?
it was accidental. Like most of the things that I do, I cannot say it was intentional. I can't say this is what I wanted. Like if I went back years ago, I'd be like, I would never be doing this. Even rewinding back when I lived in China, my first year, second year and a half, second year, I was teaching children how to speak English. I realized I hate other people's children. I can't do it. So then my second job was teaching at a university. And I realized, yo, it's not that I just don't like other people's children. I actually don't like teaching. And here I am, got a whole nonprofit teaching people how to fix technology. And what I realized was that, like, me giving you technology is one thing, but I always talk about creating generational wealth. How is it that I'm going to give you a computer, you're going to automatically just learn how to fix things and like start making money? That's not it. So then I started thinking about it. I was like, all right, cool. What is it that Reddit really supposed to be doing? I said, all right, so we're closing the digital divide, but that's not enough. I need people to make money. So if we're closing the digital divide, I need to figure out how to close the income divide. It's like, all right, how do we do that? Well, if I'm teaching you, you learn how to prepare technology. Now you're making money. And I said, all right, if we do this the right way, there's going to be some people I teach who want to start their own business. Like one individual who actually went through my program and started their own repair shop. That's going to help close the wealth divide. How do you build a business that's self-sustaining? And I would be lying if I said like I got it all together today. No, as we continue to scale, my goal is to really make an intentional footprint so that people can really go through our programs and start their own businesses. I love to say each year I build 5, 10 new entrepreneurs to go out in the world and do their own thing. Like, yo, go ahead. If you were the leader, but there's like 3, 4 of you in the class that you really gravitated towards, y'all go together, start your own repair shop. Boom, make the money.
Right though. Now it actually all comes together. I can see it. Um, okay. Now, how do you find time to be a couple and be you and I feel like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of businesses, a lot of initiatives. I don't how do you wind up with self-care or being human?
So the one thing is when starting every day with prayer, talking to God, making sure that I'm really focused there first. And then after that, how do I really make sure that me and my wife are on the same accord? Working every day, spending most of our time there together, you would think like, oh, that's all you need to do. I'm like, no, there's so much more than just working together. How do we be intentional? So we just started, honestly, like 2, 3 weeks ago, said twice a week when we come home from work, don't turn on the phone. Don't turn on the TV. While we eating dinner, we always put the kids to sleep first. We eat dinner. and we're going to just talk until we go to sleep. Let's do that twice a week. In addition to that, one thing I love to do is travel. You see, like you follow us on social media, definitely her page. Yeah, see, we've been to a lot of countries. My oldest son is 5. He's been to 12 countries. My youngest been to 7 countries. He's turning 4 next week. And it's not because I'm like, yo, look at me, I'm traveling. No, I love to experience different cultures. But as I'm doing that, I'm completely turned off from work. And I'm talking about weeks at a time off. I don't want my computer near me. I don't want my phone. Like, I'm going to a country where if you call me, I don't have good reception. I'm sorry. You can't find me. Like, that is our time where we just really commit to each other. Like, we're just chilling. So we find ways to spend time outside of work. That church, like, there's so many ways that really build, and then making sure that I'm intentional in my boys' lives. Like, I'll be lying if I say, like, though where I came from, we were marginalized, but my parents still care for me in their way. And I want to make sure I care for my kids in my way with my wife. Like, how do we pour back into the kids and making sure that we're a full unit, really making sure that we have that time? Because what you see with some wealthy families, um, their kids get to a certain point where all they know is money, but they don't know their parents. They don't have a good relationship. And I don't want that to happen with us. Like, I don't care how little or little we make in our life. Like, I want to make sure that no matter what, my family's first. Everything else will come together after that.
Mm. He said we putting the wealth from the heart first. You see? If the wealth come from the heart, we all up. You see what I'm saying? Y'all worried about just the pockets. No, no, no. If you come from the heart, you can spread it to the pockets. It can't spread from the pocket to the heart. It can spread from the heart to the pocket. Follow that one. All right. Okay. I'm joking, but I'm true though. Like that's actually a all right. So now I ask all my guests this question. I like to ask this question. If you could give advice to a younger version of yourself, you know, Lil Kevis, you know what I'm saying? Like on the brink before you was here. But the trick is the year is still 2024. What advice would you give to a younger version of yourself?
When I speak, I share this one topic all the time. Don't let others impose their limitation onto you, whether it's out of love or hate. I want to give you an example of this. When it came to my life, they told me college is probably not for me. I'll probably never leave the tri-state area because my family's all still here. And even when I started my business, they thought it would fail because most fail in the first 3 years. So when I thought about college, people would say, out of hate, you're too dumb. You can't afford it. You're from the hood. You're never going to make it. Out of love, people would say, are you sure? It costs a little bit. Like, how are we going to pay for it? But guess what? That was still a limitation. And that was their limitation, not mine. I look at it like I can still do it. They told me I won't leave the tri state area. I visited 27 countries by 25. Your limitation, not mine. They said my business will fail in 3 years. At 4 years, I was on Shark Tank. My business is 9.5 years old now. Don't tell me what I can't do. So when I'm speaking to the youth, I'm speaking to the young me. I'm saying what you got to do is understand when someone's talking down to you, you realize they're literally looking down on you. It's because you're holding a mirror in front of you and they're looking at the younger them. What I need you to do is step from behind that mirror and go ahead and be a trailblazer. Make your own journey, make your own path. And I wish I did more of that as a kid because everything I was looking at, like people would tell me what I can't do, and I was hesitate with it. Like, you know, you ever see like, if LeBron James tried to hesitate with a shot, but then go up, that thing getting blocked. No, don't hesitate. Shoot your shot. You can do it. If you miss, don't worry. Try again. Don't hesitate. Go for it. Because there's so many times in my life where I actually hesitated and it just delayed things. It messed things up. Whereas if I was to look at what I wanted to do and not what other people told me I should do, where would I be at today?
Because it was already meant. It was already there. It was already there. It was already there. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Oh man, so shoot your shot, y'all. That's it. That's all. Don't be hesitating, and don't let people judge you by their mirror. That's a fact. I love this. I love this. This was a great conversation. All right, now, last but not least, well, almost last but not least, I tell people, if you give me a word, I give you a poem. As I tell people that, while you think of a word, I'm going to do what I like to call a quick hat tip. This is when I like to tip my hat to some things that have happened and some people who've been doing some things. So with that said, it's been a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. I said a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. To, first and foremost, the Delaware Music Network and Harvey Road. The album is out. Go stream that Harvey Road. That's why I started off with that. Don't give up. The vibe is there. Album is fire. And we was live at the Opulent. Shout out to the Opulent for putting that thing together, having a good time in the building. So definitely gotta give a quick hat tip to them. Also, I said a quick hat tip, a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. I said a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. In case you don't know, I'm gonna tell you right now. Also, where am I at? Wait, yes. So outside of that, I need everybody to know icons again. I was live at that open mic. We was rocking, we was rolling, we was cooking. It was live. That's when y'all see me on the microphone doing some things last week. And also, quick hat tip, blip, blip. I said a quick hat tip to everybody from that open mic, open mic jam session last Wednesday. When I say everybody, I'm talking about so shouts out to SongBird TheGoddess. It was rocking on the had the bars flowing. It was a vibe. I'm just letting y'all know, nothing but a quick hat tip. Nothing but a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. I said a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. Listen, first and foremost, or should I say, in case you think I'm going to miss it, you, sir. That's a fact. That's it. Y'all know it. Yeah, y'all know it. I got my man right here, Markevis. Listen. Oh, I'm so sorry. One more time. Quick hat tip. Blip, blip. So Wilmington Alliance, they had that Harvest Fest in the city. I got to give a shout out to them. Shouts out to CaDeidra, the whole situation out there. Putting it on for the people. Now, back to you and your wife for making it happen, doing some things. Thank you for being a dope guest and caring about the community, even when it didn't always care about you. Like you did that. You did that. That to me is a blessing in itself. With that said, sir, do you have a word for me?
Blessed.
Blessed. Okay, I'm blessed. Let's go. All right. I'm thinking. My blessings don't just live with me. They don't just stay with me. They were delivered to me in a way in which I can give to you so they can be spread out equally. My blessings don't ask me if it's fair that they're here. Honestly, they don't care. My blessings don't look for me to just hold on to them with an aimless stare or a empty glare as if I'm only going to keep them here. My blessings don't have ego. My blessings don't have pride. My blessings do decide, even though they are mine, they are not meant for me to hold them in a way of which no one else can figure out how they can be applied. See, my blessings don't work that way. My blessings were gifts that can make my world shift as long as I know when to properly give them away. See, my blessings can bring peace and have all the noise cease. See, my blessings can say namaste. My blessings can help me know when to come home and know when I'm supposed to be away. My blessings can create silence and silence violence at the same time. My blessings don't come in material possessions. My blessings are delivered to me through a frame of mind.
My guy. My guy.
You did that. That was the energy of this conversation. That was literally the energy of this conversation. So thank you for, as stated, thank you and your wife for being a blessing. You see what I'm saying? That's all I got for you. With that said, anything you want to give a shout out to, anything you want to mention before we get up out of here?
Oh, my family, my friends, I just want to say blessed. I appreciate this opportunity to be able to rap with you today. Hopefully somebody took some nugget away from this, like even if in a small way could create some type of momentum for you to be able to do a little bit more for your community. Remember, it's not about us, it's about all that we serve, man. God put us here to serve. So you gotta make sure you're out here serving our people. There's so much we can do when you keep your eyes on that. Stay obedient throughout the storm and understand it is yours. G Dash, I appreciate this opportunity, mate.
Thank you, sir, brother. This was great for me. I appreciate you again. Thank you all for tuning in to Hats Off with your boy G-Jones. Again, talking change with the change makers, get flavor from the taste makers and the key from the gatekeepers. I always like to say, love yourself first and everything else will fall into place. Y'all have a good one, all right?